This is Faris from the City School Ravi A-Levels. I've been doing all sorts of debates from the past 4 years, declamations, parliamentaries, MUNs, and throughout my journey, I've came to realize that Pakistan is a country where amongst the local lower and middle class groups, you are respected if you own a Toyota Land Cruiser, or you're a religious scholar, or if you're a doctor or an engineer. And that's a problem because if you pick up a matriculation career planning sheet that they give you, you'd see that you have choices between pre-medical and pre-engineering. If you go to a class full of 7-year-olds, you'll realize that their ambitions are far higher, and you'll see professions like an astronaut or a scientist or an actor or an army general. So why is it that these 7-year-olds come to an age where they have to choose their careers? Why is it that they're only given 2 choices when there's a multitude of professions to choose from? It is because in our society, to succeed means to excel in select professions that are socially exalted in our community. But does that incentivize battering upon the ambitions of our 7-year-olds and socially coercing them into professions that are already set? This leads our youth into various mental health illnesses, for example, stress disorders and anxiety disorders. Whereas our society needs to understand that there's a direct link between success and productivity with ambition and passion and peace of mind that nurtures creativity that is essential for the current dynamic of careers. This is a major problem because there's a two-way block in our society. First of all, there's a lack of willingness from our people to pursue their dream careers and ambitions. And secondly, on the other hand, a lack of willingness from our government and interest from our government to promote these professions which are lesser known, but our youth has ambitions and passion about them. And as I was saying, our youth is socially coerced into such professions which are already set by a social construct. Not all of our people who are socially coerced make it into those universities. For example, for medical school, there are 117 med schools all over Pakistan. The acceptance rate is 10% in all of them. So the 100% of the people applying for medical, only 10% of those lucky people get in. But what about the ones who don't get in? What about the mental trauma that they have to face when they were growing up and they were told their entire lives that there is nothing else that gets you to succeed in a society other than medical? There are no plan Bs. What did they do? They go into research, or they go into teaching, or they handle their father's business. That's the best case scenario. The worst case, they're gonna do 2 unrecognized diplomas and go abroad in the most illegal of the ways. But what about the ones who do make it in? They become successful, right? They land the best paying jobs because, well, medical, law, engineering are the most lucrative professions, right? That is not the case. Because what Google shows you, the best paying jobs in Pakistan for 2023, doctors, engineers, and lawyers. Those professions are reserved for people who have devoted their lives 25, 30 years of experience, but in that particular field. Those people have the right, and those people do get those jobs, which are top paying in Pakistan. Because of the fact that Pakistan is producing so many engineers and doctors, it leads to a phenomena called job or workplace saturation, when there's a lot of people with the same qualifications, so that the employers tend to employ the ones who would work for them for the cheapest rates, which directly leads to decreasing the average of the pay of that particular profession. In no way am I saying that we don't need doctors or engineers in our society, because those professions are the backbone of our society. But does that incentivize us to leave the rest of the body? No. We need doctors who are ambitious about saving lives, not making money. We need lawyers who are ambitious about serving justice, not billing their clients by the hour. This is a problem because we see an interest for the cause of betterment of our society plummet, only to see the interest for our own selves rise. And even if you do make it into the top professions, there's a major lack of opportunity in Pakistan, because very recently, I myself happened to come across a person who was an aeronautical engineer but was driving an Uber. The other month, I also met a PhD doctorate who was making burgers at a dhaba. So our society also needs to understand that even if you do make it in on the top level, on the top professions that are considered in a society, there are not a lot of opportunities to be going around for everyone. It is better to be on the top tier of the career that you're ambitious about, that is your dream job, rather than being mediocre in a social construct. Your life is your own to make. Your fate lies in your own hands, and your future is paved by your own hard work. Because just know for a fact that God never lets you down. God never lets the hard work that you put in for your ambitious down. But why is it that even if you do make it in, why is it that in Pakistan you cannot blossom? It is because of the second hurdle that I talked about, the lack of government approach and investment for the cause of diversifying opportunities, spreading awareness, and promoting lesser known professions. So why is it that amongst the top Fortune 500 companies, 60 of them are Indian CEOs? Credit where credit is due, because their government is actively trying to promote lesser known professions, but those professions which are much required in the international market. This is the reason why these Indians are amongst the top paying CEO jobs in the top Fortune 500 companies, because their government is actively trying to academically promote lesser known professions and practically trying to make new markets and new job opportunities for these people. None of the top Fortune 500 CEOs are medical doctors. They are engineers, yes, but most of them have degrees in finance, political sciences, business studies, computing, IT. These are the professions that are going to usher in a new world. These are the professions that are needed for our youth to internationally compete with other countries. With the dawn of a new generation, I see our youth yearning for more possibilities, people which are more open-minded and creative, that are needed for an international level CEO, per se. These are the people that Pakistan need to develop and compete with the most established countries out there. I see that there are people who would stack up those world records, those Nobel Prizes, and those historical feats that would put Pakistan's name in the history books. That is why it starts with me, you, and our country right now.